Well, we are smack dab in the middle of winter, but fire fears always a California concern, as we know. And with wildfires getting bigger and more destructive, it's igniting a crisis for homeowners trying to afford insurance. The state is now stepping in. Thanks for joining us here for your only local news at 8 o'clock. I'm Hunter Sowards. Those insurance changes, they could come at a cost. We want to get right to Ashley Sharp, starting us off live from Forest Hill, getting reaction, Ashley, to these new regulations and what it may mean for thousands of homeowners.
Hey, Hunter. Yeah, this is a very complicated insurance reform policy, pages and pages of it that I'm going to try to make as simple as possible. It's supposed to, if you ask the state's insurance department, help communities, our foothill and mountain communities like where I am here in Auburn, help them have better access to home and fire insurance. So what exactly this does is, for the first time in California, these insurance companies can now pass on a new cost to the consumer. That's their cost of reinsurance. Now, in the past, they've had to assume the cost of their own reinsurance themselves, but now this is the change that in California, they can now pass that on to the consumer. Well, what's the stipulation there? They now have to expand their own coverage in our more at-risk communities. So think places like Forest Hill, think places that are more fire-prone. Now, as this moves forward, 85% of the people living in these areas will have to have access to the policies, the new policies that these insurance companies, some of which have completely left the state altogether, are putting out. I got to go one-on-one with the Department of Insurance today to get some answers about what exactly this now means for the consumer.
Insurance companies, we think, are going to use this tool to write more policies, and over time we're going to see rates become more reliable. We're going to see competition come back into these areas. That's what's really going to keep the cost of insurance down over time.
So how can you know at this point confidently that this won't make everybody's rates go up really high?
They're already seeing their costs go up right now under these existing outdated rules. So the groups who are defending those rules aren't offering anything to Californians. Californians aren't getting anything out of our current regulations, and that's what's changing.
So basically what the Department of Insurance is saying is that the bottom line here is that there will be more policies written in these communities where they are not being written right now. But with that, if you ask groups like the Consumer Watchdog, based out of Los Angeles, who is calling this a horrible, horrible policy put out by the state, that's their words, they'll say that with those new policies, sure, they're coming in, but that price is going to be passed along to everybody else in the state. And they believe, the Consumer Watchdog does, that this could cause rates to go up from 40 to 50% for customers. So that's not a number that a lot of people are going to like to hear. So that's something that we're continuing to follow, Hunter. I also spoke with a homeowner in Forest Hill. You're going to hear from him at 10 o'clock about how his insurance completely went away and, you know, what that means for consumers. And even they aren't exactly loving this plan. So we're going to break all that down a bit further tonight at 10.
Yeah, double-edged sword here.